Okay, can we be honest? Motherhood is not easy. It is plain hard. So today we're going to be talking about motherhood with our special guest, Holly Joyce Murray. She's a life coach, a copywriter, and a new mom.
Yes, she's got a little. And I love that her specialty is teaching women of faith how to live life of less stress and more grace.
Yes.
I'm like, how do you do that with a newborn?
Exactly.
Like less stress with a newborn. Oh, wait, less stress with teenagers.
Exactly.
Oh, well, I'm gonna ante you up there. Less stress with adult children.
I mean, I got one. I know you have a lot.
I got three. I got the trifecta. So let's get started and let's have a conversation with our special guest, Holly Joyce Murray. Well, welcome my good friend, Holly Joyce Murray. Yay.
Hi, Holly. Hi. How are you, ladies?
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
We're talking about hard things.
Yes.
And I know you have an infant.
I do.
Yes.
Last time we talked, I was about 9 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm. So congratulations on being a new mom.
And your baby boy is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I definitely think so. Of course, I'm probably a little bit biased.
No, he really is. He's a cutie
is.
patootie. So what have you found, Holly, is the hardest part of having a newborn?
Lack of sleep, lack of structure, and I'm not even that structured, lack of personal space, having other people's bodily fluids all over you. I would really say it boils down to this. You know, I became a mother a little later in life. Everybody has a different experience. So for me, my experience has been becoming a mother when I was 36 years old. Therefore, I lived a lot of life doing things Holly's way. And not that Holly's way was bad. I don't mean that. And, you know, I was doing pretty good. You know, I had held down good jobs, started businesses, got married, traveled. I mean, I was just used to doing things my way. And this little tiny human enters your world and it's just not your way anymore. It's going to be their way. And I think the biggest learning curve was just letting go. I felt like for me, the way I described it to friends was it felt like I drove 100 miles per hour into a brick wall because I was just going so fast and doing my thing. And it was just this hard, like recalibration. And if I'm being honest, it took about 8.5 months before I started feeling like, okay, this is my new role. I'm a mother. I can do this. Here's what it looks like. And of course, there's a lot of factors to that. Your hormones are going crazy for a while. And then you still have hormones every month, whether you like it or not. And you are not sleeping. And my particular son, he has things to do and people to see. He's an extrovert all the way. So bedtime is not on his agenda any night of the week. And we have gotten some improvement in nap time. Praise be the Lord. And then also we dealt with some like minor medical issues, but he had a tongue tie, which led to some feeding issues and led to multiple doctor's appointments in the beginning of his life. And then last but not least, I do a lot of what I call solo parenting. My husband is an amazing provider for our family. We're both entrepreneurs. We have businesses together, one of them being a rental business. We have some rental homes and apartment units. We also have jobs, like he has a full-time job at a refinery where he works, if it goes by his schedule, 4 on, 4 off, 12-hour shifts. So for me, it's a lot of solo parenting and really learning how to call in the Calvary and ask for help.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've heard so many moms say and talk about, and I actually still go through this and I have to work through it, is mom guilt. Like feeling like you're just not doing enough. Like you don't know how to juggle all the different things and be the best mom you can be. Is that something that you experience?
So for the record, before you answer that, I'm an Enneagram 8. I don't think I had mom guilt ever. I'm like, you're alive, you're fed. I feel no guilt about this. Maybe mom guilt on what I fed them, but no. She wanted to ask that question. I was like,
it's a thing. A lot of moms feel that, like myself included, like the thing.
I know. I think in my 20s, maybe I would have had mom guilt because I had unrealistic expectations of what motherhood or what a good mom and a good wife was. But now I'm sitting here thinking, no mom guilt. They're all adults and they're alive. Hurrah. We made it.
I mean, yes, I have. And I would say that I actually have a nice blend of both of you ladies. So for me, I don't think it's exactly what you described, Allison. I think it's more like, am I doing this right? Like that's kind of, am I doing this right is kind of what I'll ask myself. And I definitely do feel guilt whenever I am unable to comfort my son and calm him, like at bedtime. I mean, he's level 11, y'all. I mean, he's screaming and crying, and there's literally nothing wrong. He just doesn't like it and doesn't want to go to bed. And so some nights it's a huge ordeal. And I know that he is a leader in seed form. He is a man in seed form. So I'm trying to remember to parent him from that place and to remember that I can't control another person's emotions. But sometimes it's hard. Like I ask myself, what kind of mother can't comfort her child? You know, what kind of mother can't help her and soothe her child to go to sleep? So you do ask those questions. And sometimes I come to my husband with those questions or a friend, and they're really, really encouraging. But I think for me, it boils down to like, who am I comparing myself to? And unfortunately, in a social media world, I think we have so many unrealistic expectations of the Pinterest parent and the room, the homeroom mom, and all these things. And guess what? Like, I'm not called to be all of those things. I'm not crafty. I never was crafty before I had a kid. So I'm not suddenly going to turn into this like crafty person. So I've had to learn that that's not it for me, and that's not where it's at for me. I'm a female business owner and entrepreneur. And so I'm called to help other women. I'm called to serve other business owners. And that's part of what I'm placed on this earth to do. I will say as a mom, it's this really interesting thing where sometimes you're at work and you're thinking about being a mom, and then you're a mom and you're thinking about being at work. So it's like this balancing act. But for me too, just realizing that because work is part of what I'm called to do, at least right now, I am energized when I'm working. I'm energized when I'm helping others and creating for others. And then that helps me come back into motherhood refreshed and energized and excited to be the best mom I can be. Yeah. So I think for me, it's just a continual like mindset game of reminding myself like, hey, I'm not doing anything crazy. It was like my husband the other day actually was like, I said, am I a terrible mother? Like he was just crying so much and we were really just fighting at bedtime. And we've tried it all, y'all, all the tricks of the trade. And he was like, a terrible mother doesn't care. A terrible mother is neglect. You know, he was like very practical, laying all these things out. And then of course, my compassionate heart is like, yeah, but sometimes in circumstances, people need this and that and the other. And he's like, okay, listen, I'm just trying to share with you that you're not a bad mom. And it comes back to what are you telling yourself? Like, what are the messages that you're playing in your head? And then are you in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing? At least that's what helps me overcome the mom guilt when it knocks on my proverbial door.
That's good. That's really good. That actually helps me with raising teenagers and a young adult, because like they think you're an idiot and
real life. That's true.
They really know do. Absolutely nothing.
They don't know you already feel like one half the time anyway.
It's really hard to navigate. I mean, sometimes I do have the mom guilt with them. I really do. I struggle.
Well, I asked Holly what the hardest thing about
gosh.
raising it or having an infant was, or a young one. So what's the hardest thing about raising teenagers or adolescents? I know one of them's technically an adult, but
I mean, I think it's what I just said, them thinking you're an idiot. You're trying to help them and guide them.
You're an idiot because you can't TikTok, right?
I cannot TikTok. I really don't even understand the TikTok. I don't understand.
You sound like an elderly person in the Walmart. The TikToks.
I was even scrolling through TikTok like, what the heck is going on? Like, oh my gosh, kids are laughing at me. They're like, you don't need to be on TikTok, mom. So
that's because they know you'd go viral.
Well, they blocked me. I got blocked by my son, which was very offensive.
Wow.
No, I mean, just like trying to help and guide them. And, you know, you're offering advice. You've already walked through so many things you have so much stuff that you can tell them and, encourage them on and guide them on. And they don't want to hear it. Like, and it really makes you wonder, like, are these seeds are they going on good soil? Like, are they just being scattered into rocks? Like, because their heads feel like rocks right now. Like, they're so hard-headed. Like,
I don't know where they got that from.
I'm getting payback. That's what's happening. I mean, I've said that too. I'm like, Lord, I'm so sorry. I was such a difficult teen. Help me. For my mom now
yes, you feel for your mom.
And I've told her, but that's really the hardest thing for me right now is just trying to help them and them. I mean, even though I know that they're probably receptive in some ways to my advice and help, it just does not feel like it.
Yeah, that is hard. That's really hard.
Yeah, when you got it doubled and tripled all at the same time, because you got two. I had three teenagers at the same time.
Two is enough for me. I don't see
y'all are heroes. One is good for me. I feel complete.
Well, so this is where I was talking about how mothering, the hard changes. So you go from not being able to get them to sleep to not being able to get them out of bed.
Yeah, exactly.
You are not the first friend that's told me that. Like, I've had two different friends recently. I was texting them and they're like, my kids are still in bed. Okay. It felt hopeful those days. Like, there probably were days that I was like, I don't want to hear it. But those days it felt kind of comical and hopeful of like, all right, we're gonna make a turn at some point.
Yes, you will. You'll make several turns, actually. So I will tell you, though, when they become adults, it levels up a little bit more. And in my opinion, is a little bit harder. So, building the muscles of being able to manage hard is important, because you're right. If you can learn the lesson that you're teaching, Holly, that you can't control another person's emotions.
Yeah.
That from infancy all the way to adulthood is valid.
Yeah.
As an adult, I can't control how they feel about what's happening in their life. I can't control what they're doing. I can't control anything. I have zero control except what I have through prayer.
Yeah, because when they turn 18, they make sure I'm an adult.
Well, we actually had that conversation in my house, and here's how that conversation went. He said, I'm an adult. I said, the day you start paying your own bills, your mortgage, your car, your insurance, and your phone bill outside of my house is the day you're an adult. Until then, you are trying to grow into those big adult shoes you want to fill.
Oh, goodness.
That was how that conversation went down in my house.
Okay.
So sorry.
I need to take that advice.
It's kind of like my 10-month-old he's really a toddler. He's 10 months old, but he's in like 24-month clothes. So he's a big boy. He's going to be tall and strong like his dad. So he lets me know he's a toddler.
A big boy.
Every stage, they're just letting you know about the next stage. Like, it's always, I'm almost this age. I'm almost that age. My daughter, she's 15. She's like, I'm almost 16. I've heard that since she was 15. Like, they're almost the next level.
So how are you planning to set your teenagers, up and coming adults up to be able to have a close, intimate relationship with them as they become adults?
How am I setting them up for that? Like
because you've got to shift at some point. Like Holly, you're in full blown motherhood. Everything's mom. Mom does everything. Mom cleans everything. Mom does everything. But then you shift at some point, you got to shift from mom into mentor, because I don't get to mother my 29-year-old son or my 26 or 27-year-old daughter. Like she would be like, ooh, gross, mom, go away, grown up, but I do have the ability to kind of mentor them, or when they ask, that's the key. When they ask for my input, give my thoughts and process and what I think they should do, because that's one of the hardest things in parenting or mothering adults is keeping your nose in your own business. When you see them going off the rails, you're like, stop.
That's been really difficult for me to navigate with my adult son, is letting him go, letting him make his own mistakes, and, learning to navigate the mentor friendship that we have versus, the mothering that I did do. So, they have chores, y'all. They have chores. Like my daughter is a business owner. She works a job, in the work field, and my son has his job. He's going to college. Like they are not getting off easy in life. I want to teach and instruct them how to live without mom.
That's your job, actually.
Yeah, but they can stay as long as they want to.
Don't say that.
They can.
No, they can stay as long as they need to.
Well, I want them to stay forever. I don't want to lose them. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
No, I do. I want them. I'm trying to raise them and teach them how to live their life to the best possible way they can on their own.
Right.
And then me just be their friend and there for them.
And okay. So I have a question for you, Holly. So for all of our moms that have littles, and when I say littles, I mean infants, toddlers, all the way through school age, how has your dreams and your plans and your goals shifted? How do you create plans and goals and dreams that kind of include motherhood? Because that is a huge part of your life at this moment in life. But you're also an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, and you have all that. So how did that shift? I know you said you hit a brick wall. So after you peeled your face off the wall,
right?
What
the cartoon, the Roadrunner, whatever, Wile E. Coyote.
Right? What did you do to be intentional to shift your goals and to make plans so that you would be able to, fulfill your personal dreams, but also your role as mom?
Absolutely. So in the beginning, I took some time to just be mom and kind of figure that whole thing out. Not that I totally have figured it out. I wanted to learn the ropes a little bit. I wanted to recover. Do not even get me started on postpartum in this country and how women are treated. Like I cannot believe our country and how these things are handled. So I felt like the 4th trimester was really key for me to learn how to be a mom and to rest. I did the whole kind of lying in type of thing where I was with my baby and I was either in the bed or on the couch in order to heal my body. And then I took just a few months, really. I wasn't doing much. I took time off from my business. I wasn't doing much in the sense of outside my home. I was with my son. And then also just learning to let some things go and to ask for help. I have to have help. I cannot do it on my own. I do not think I would have made it if I didn't have my mother-in-law. Part of my story, and we've shared a little bit, my mom passed away when I was 19. So I do not have a mom in my life. I have an amazing stepmom, and I have the dream of a mother-in-law. So thankfully I had family surrounding me. I accepted a lot of help and support in the beginning, whether it was meals, whether it was cleaning, whatever. And then now, I have my mother-in-law full-time caring for my son. I also have extra people that come in, like my stepmom. Dorothy's daughter, Grace, is a huge help to us as well when we need to fill in the gaps. And as far as my dreams and goals, I guess I'm kind of one of those crazy people that just keeps pushing forward. And I literally took a program to become a certified conversion copywriter. When my son I started it when he was about 6 or 7 months old, I guess. I'd have to go back and do the math. And I just made it a priority. Like, it was a priority and it was what I wanted to do. And so I did it. And like I said, there were times that I felt, it was hard because it was, it was a task to accomplish. And sometimes I wondered, am I doing the right thing? But I think when you become a parent, your child becomes your inspiration.
Yeah.
And so everything I'm doing is for Carson. I'm not just doing it for me. I'm doing it for him, for the life that I want him to lead. And I want him to see me doing what God has called me to do. And that's what we have to figure out for ourselves. What is God calling us to do? But just to give you a statistic, there's 34% of stay-at-home mothers are living below the poverty line. And I can guarantee you that some of those women are desiring to be able to provide for their families, but they're feeling a stigma of working, and they're feeling like they're not good enough to work. They're feeling like someone's going to judge them for working. They're going to judge their motherhood for working. And so if that's somebody that's listening to this and you know that God has called you to do something, to create something, to be a part of something, I want to encourage you to put the fear of judgment aside and to gather around you women that are going to champion you and that are going to help you, and go for it. And you may not have a mother-in-law who can help, but maybe you can do a childcare swap with someone in your neighborhood or someone in your mom's group. There are so many different things that you can do. And again, I know not everybody's called to that. I was on the phone with a friend this morning, and she's home with her 3 children full time right now. And that's what she wants to do and what she's called to do. And so she should do that. And then I have other friends that they either, go to a job or they're with a corporation and they work several hours every day. So you get to pick what you want to do and need to do for your family, and also what the Lord has called you to do. And then you just put your blinders on, girl, and you go for it.
I love that. And it changes in seasons.
Yep.
I will say I really felt like I was called to stay at home with my children when they were little. And I did. I stayed at home with all 3 of mine when they were young. And I didn't start my career in the makeup industry until my youngest, Grace, started school. So when she started school was when I started and took the leap into doing makeup in the corporate world. And it just kind of, I feel like God kissed that and honored that and just kind of expedited my career because of that, because I really felt like, I created these little critters. If anybody's going to mess them up, it's going to be me. I used to tell people that I'm going to tell the therapist what all I did, so you could just fix it when we're done. But I had a whole season of staying at home as the mom. And that's when mom guilt came in hardcore, because let's be honest, I couldn't cook, I couldn't clean, I didn't know how to do laundry, and I was a teenager. I had my first one at 18, my second one at 20, my third one at 26, or 25. So it was like boom, 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 I was ready to go to work. And now empty nesting. So yeah. Seasons change, and your role and how you interact as a mother changes.
It's true. And, like I said, I was off for several months focusing on Carson. And now, because I own my own business, I have a lot of flexibility. So I can choose how much I work and when I work. I'm one of those people and personalities who I do well with a lot of irons in the fire. I have a high capacity. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend that to everyone. And I will say, becoming a mom, super impacted my capacity, because it takes a lot of
it takes about 5 irons. You put them all together.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Holly, for just coming in and helping us understand a little bit more about how to have grace and lighten our load as mothers growing up, and some of the tricks that you've used with a little and what that looks like. So tell us where and what you are doing now and how people can find you.
Sure. So I am a trained conversion copywriter, which is just a fancy way of saying that I write words that sell so you don't have to. So I do a lot of different things. Right now, I'm working on a sales email sequence for a business owner who's starting a monthly membership site. So it changes every day, which I really like and allows me to be creative. And people can probably most easily find me by emailing me. It's hollyjoycemurray@gmail.com.
We are so glad you were here, and I really appreciate you sharing how to strategize, still pursuing your dreams and goals, and then momming hard.
Right.
That's what we do.
Mom hard.
I like it. I like momming hard instead of it's hard mom.
Yeah.
Like, let's switch.
Momming hard. I love that. Okay, well, that is the end of this podcast. But hey, take a moment to like and subscribe to our podcast, the Grit and Glam podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, IGTV, any place there's social media. We are there peeking our little heads up saying hi. So we will see you guys next time. And thank you so much again, Holly.
Yes.
It was a pleasure having you.
Bye.
Bye.